Hello everyone, welcome to the full stack web development course where you will be able to build a full stack web application like a Stack Overflow clone at the end of this course. So, not only the Stack Overflow clone, you can build any full stack web application you want. So, as part of this second lecture, we are gonna go through HTML, the building block of every website. So what HTML stands for? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. HTML is a standard markup language for creating web pages. So let's, before dive into the HTML, we will just need a text editor to write our code. You can use any text editor of your convenience. In this case, I am using VS Code, which is a great option what every developers would like to use. And we need a browser what where we will be displaying the HTML page. So you can choose any browser. In our case, I'm just going to use Safari browser. So first, let me just create a new folder by just right clicking, and I'm just going to create a new folder and just gonna rename it to I'm just going to rename it to HTML basics, and let me just open this thing in the VS Code. So here I have opened the VS Code here and the Safari browser here where we will be seeing our HTML page in the browser. So now let me just open the folder which we have created. So it is inside the desktop, I believe. So here is the HTML basics. Let me just open that. So before creating the new HTML file inside this, we just gonna need a few extensions through this course. So what they are let me just say. So first thing, we're gonna just need prettier. Prettier makes our code pretty by just formatting the code. It is very time saving. So I have already installed it here. You're just gonna install and enable it. So the second extension we are gonna need is the live server. So this thing which you're gonna run our HTML file in a live server in a local host. So just install this thing too. So let me just close this and open the Explorer again. Here we have our HTML basics where I'm just going to create a index.html file. So I have created that, and let me just close this Explorer by just clicking on it like this. So here, so first HTML describes the structure of a web page, how it should be, and HTML consists of series of elements like an HTML tag, head, a body tag, and a heading and a p tag. So HTML elements tell the browser how to display the content. If the tag is about heading, then the browser knows that it is a heading, and if it is a paragraph, then we will be using a p tag, so the browser knows that is a paragraph. So now the first line of the HTML code consists of a doc tag. See what VS Code prefers us, recommends, not doc type, which is look like this, which says the browser as our file is an HTML file. This one line of code says the browser our file is an HTML file. So next we are gonna use an HTML element see HTML here. If I just click this, it has just auto completed the tag. So this is going to be the root tag of our entire index.html file. So let me just give a enter. So you can see here is a tab space is already written. This is because of prettier. You can see the prettier extension is in use here. So let me just have the first tag, like this is going to be the head tag, which is the head tag contains all the headers of our HTML file. Something like the page title and something like the what are the CSS sheets are included, and the fab icon, which is the website's icon, and as well as any CDNJS what we include in our file. It may be a bit confusing as of now, but if we further proceed in our code, it will be a lot more simpler. So let's start with the title tag. So you can see VS Code prefers the title tag here. So I'm just going to so here we're just going to give a title as my first HTML code is here, like this. Now go ahead and right click anywhere in the code. So at the end you can see open with live server. Just click on this, which should automatically open the live server in the browser. So now in this case it is here. You can see the page is empty. The page is empty because we don't have any tags here, but you can see I have entered the title as my first HTML code is here. So you can see the page's title is here, my first HTML code is here, something like this. And then we're gonna need a body tag like this. So if it just auto completes the tag. You can see I have just written body and I have hit the enter button. It actually had autofill the content. So now inside this I'm just going to have an h1 tag, which is nothing but a heading tag. So here we can just give something like hello world, and you can see this is why we are using live server, because if we are not using the live server we have to refresh this page anytime when the code is updated here. So here you have to save this code anytime by clicking Ctrl S in Windows or Command S in Mac. Without if you don't want to do that, you can just go to edit or the file. Here you have an option called auto save. If you just enable this, whatever you enter here, it is going to be auto saved and it is going to be reflected in the web browser. So now let me just clear this. Now there are 6 heading tags like h2. So without copy pasting this hello world inside this, we can do one thing to make the code really simple. You can just leave the cursor somewhere on this line and just hit Control Shift and down arrow. Sorry, Alt Shift and the down arrow. We're just going to copy and paste it in the below line. So now I can just use Alt as well as if I just click, I can multi-click here. So now I'm just going to do a backspace, and here I'm just going to do a 2. So this is going to be the h4 tag. All of these heading tags tells the browser this hello world is an heading, and as well as the size of this heading. You can see we have 6 types of headings, which just varies with the font size. Nothing better than the font, uh, font size. So now let me just remove these things. Now the next tag we have to go through is nothing but a p tag, which contains paragraphs of this web page. Now we can just type a bigger paragraph. To make things simple to explain to you, I'm just going to enter as low rem. So you can see already it is preferred by the VS Code. Let me just hit this. It auto completes a huge text. You can see a lot of text here, and it is also reflected in the browser. You can see there is some paragraph in the browser inside the p tag. So if you want to go to next line, it's like you want to print a poem or something, you can do it with a p tag, because every time you use enter here, it won't be reflected in a p tag, or you need a lot more space in here before this aperium. It will not also not be reflected here. If we want to use something like a poem or to display more space, instead of using a p tag, we have to use a pre tag, which is just pre-formats the code. You can see in the browser it has been updated. We have a lot of space here, as well as we have a lot of space here. So this pre-tag changes the font family, but we can just adjust it in the CSS. So now let me just leave this thing as a pre-tag, p-tag. So next thing we are going to cover is a BR tag or a break. So in p tag, if we need to go to the next line, so if I am like the consecutor, if I have to go to the next line, instead of using PRE tag, we can use something like a BR or just a break after this consecutor, and just enter into a new line for ADPC sim. So here I'm just going to use a BR tag, which is just a self-closing tag. You can see we got a space, and we have just entered into a next line. So this BR is a self-closing tag. There are two types of tags in HTML. One is a open tag as well as a closing tag, but we have some tags like a self-closing tag which have a slash inside itself. It closes itself. So next tag we will be just having is a HR tag, which gives an horizontal line in the browser between the heading as well as the p tag, but we will be just using CSS to accomplish these things in the browser. So the next thing is about commenting something. So if we want to comment this h1 line, if you have read any, if you are familiar with any programming language like C or Java, you will be using two slashes or something like a slash and a star, and inside this you can enter anything which will be commented. But in HTML it is a slight different. We have to use a angle bracket. Inside that we need a not symbol and hyphen hyphen. So you can see that the commit has been started. To end this comment, you can just add hyphen hyphen and a closing angle tag. So you can see the heading is has been commented down here as well as in the browser. So this is not a way how I comment these things. If I want to just comment, I can just make the cursor in this line, and I can just click the control as well as slash in Windows, or the command as well as slash in Mac. So boom, it has been commented out. The heading has been commented out, and it is not visible in the browser as well. So to uncomment this, hit the same thing, control plus slash or command plus slash. So boom, it has been reflected in the browser also. So next we will be going through a tag, which is an anchor tag, which is used to display the links in the browser. So we can just have anything inside this a tag, like link to sorry link to Facebook. Here we can just have a href. Href is nothing but an attribute. The anything inside this tag is called as an attribute. We can just have the link in the href, like https colon slash slash facebook.com, like this. So this is nothing but the URL of Facebook. So you can see in the browser our a tag is in blue color as well as underlined. So if I hover on this, my cursor is becoming a pointer, as well as if I just click this link to Facebook, I'm just redirected to the Facebook official website. You can see here. So let me just go with front. So that is all about anchor tag. And you can just style inside the HTML tag using an attribute called style, and inside that we'll be just using a quote, and inside that you can just say a background color as aqua, which is preferred in the VS Code. So you can see the background colors is aqua, and font color like using a color with let me just say like Azure. So you can see the color has become pale green, like that. And so we can also, don't confuse with this background color as well as color. We'll just go through these things in a CSS tutorial. To make things clear, I have just used this style attribute to style this link anchor tag. So that's it. We can just say something like a black or a green. So you can see it is green here. So now let me just go. So the next tag which we are gonna see is nothing but image tag. To accomplish this image tag, we are gonna just need any image. Let me just get ready an image. So we'll be just going to Google and type like images and hit enter. We got a lot of images. We will go here, we will just download this, save. I have just written save image to downloads. So give me a sec, I will just drag and drop this image into this HTML basics folder. So I have just found the image and I'm just going to drag and drop that thing into the HTML basics folder. So now you can see the images here. We can just see that. So I'm just not going to leave this thing as here. I'm just going to create a folder called images and I'm just going to put this thing into this. So here I'm just going to rename this thing as image 1 or image 3. Hit enter. So close this and we will go to the index.html. Here we will be using an img tag, which means image. So here it auto completes the tag. You can see here there is no slash because in HTML5 the slash has been removed. But in the BR tag we have used this slash for a self-closing tag. Here it is not used. And it have auto completed two attributes for us, like a src attribute and an alt attribute. Src is nothing but the source of the image. Here we will just give a slash images slash image tree. You can see the VS Code refers me that image dash tree which I have given here. So here I can just have image tree, and this alt means alt is nothing but alternative. Let me just explain it. So let me just close this image Google. So here our image is visible in the browser. You can see tree is here and the link to Facebook is here. So our image is visible in the browser finally. So I have told about this alt attribute, which is nothing but an alternative. If we just hover over this alt, you can see this attribute defines an alternative text description of the image. So if our network internet is slow, our images won't be displayed in the website. Instead of this images, we will be just displaying this alternate text, something like what this image contains. This image contains about 3. So if the internet is slow, the images won't be displayed here. Instead of the image, a text with called a tree will be displayed over here. So that is all about the img tag. So the next thing in HTML is nothing but the HTML layout, the layout of our web page. To explain that, I'm just going to enter into the W3 schools. So you can see here I've just entered into the W3 schools and here I am just inside the HTML layout. Here, if we consider this sheet as our HTML page, there are few tags like header, nav, section, article and aside as well as footer. Header is used to display the header of our browser. You can see it defines a header for a document or a section. Nav displays the nav bar of our website. Section has the body of our website as well as the article. Aside gives everything aside in the side of this web page. If you consider this W3 school website, you can see these ads displayed here or aside. This nav bar here, sidebar here is also an aside. This nav var is nothing but a nav tag. This entire body of this website is written in section as well as article. And if we just scroll down, we will be having the footer tag at the end of our web page. So this is nothing but an HTML layout. So the next thing is about, I can just explain about, there are the tags which we have previously discussed. They are the header tag. You can see here inside we can have any headers like hello world, or this is my first HTML code. So we got the header here, but it should, you should not use the header tag at the end of the web page. You should use this at the above all of this code here, because the header tag says the browser that this is going to be the header of this website. And there is another tag called nav, inside which we are gonna just have every nav or contents. So before explaining this nav, we have tags for listing contents. Like we have two types of list in HTML. One is ordered list and the other thing is an unordered list. Ordered list starts with a tag called OL. So our VS Code auto completes the tag, and inside that we have a tag called LI, which means list contents. So here I'm just going to say this is going to be the home, and here I'm just going to have another list content called an about, and another page called contact, things like that. So you can see in the browser it is like home, about as well as contact. Inside the tags, inside the ordered list, since this is an ordered list, it is displayed as 1 2 3 as well. So these ordered list inside a nav, which means these things are nothing but a nav var. This makes a nav var. So we can just style these things in the CSS tutorial. See, the next tag is gonna be a section tag. So, oh, sorry. Here we will be just also having another list type of list called unordered list. For that, we will be just declaring as UL, which expands unordered list. So you can see in the browser now these things are, the pointer is now not 1 2 3, it is now uh, turned into a bulletin. So that is all about unordered list. Now there is a tag called section. Excuse me. So inside the section we can have the body contents of our web page. So we can just put the h1 tag, p tag, a tag, and image tag inside this section. So but I'm just going to leave the h1 and the p tag inside this h1 and image, and I'm just going to put a outside this. So to move these things, just select all of the things and hold, select and hold, click and hold the alt as well as shift and hit the upper arrow. Sorry, it has been just, so you can just copy, select these things and hit the click and hold the alt as well as the upper key. So now we have just moved everything inside this section tag, and now we will be having another tag called, let me just copy this and put it around here. Sorry, we're not going to put it here, so instead here. So there is another tag that I have explained is nothing but article. Inside that we can have the a tag. Sorry, I have to select the alt. So now we have done, and the next tag is gonna be the aside tag. You can see this is gonna be the aside, and the content aside is like we're gonna just have a sidebar which is gonna tell about we are gonna just have another unordered list inside this, and an li like section. Oops, I don't need this space here, so let me just remove it, and another li like article. So we have two things aside, so you can see two things has been displayed in this users. We will make these things in the sidebar. So next to the aside tag, we'll be having a footer tag as we discussed before. Footer is nothing but the footer of the web page. Inside that, we will be having copyrights, or we'll be having all rights reserved. Dot. So this is nothing but the so to use symbol like copyright symbol, we'll be having special characters for that. Let me just use this W3 school example. To use this copyright symbol, we'll be need this number as well as this entity. So you can just use register sign, euro sign, anything signs involved in the here. So we are gonna use and hash 169 and a semicolon. So here all rights reserved. Before all rights we will be having and hash 169 and a semicolon. So this is as a different color because it is a keyword, and you can see all rights reserved and the copyright symbol. So we will just make CSS for this web page in the CSS tutorial. So there is another tag called div besides these footer, aside, article section as well as nav and header. There is a tag called div which can be used anywhere in the code, which is nothing but a generalized tag, and it can be used anywhere with anything. So I think that's it for this tutorial. Yes, we still missing with the form tag for initializing a form like a login form or a sign up form. We will be covering those things in the React tutorial because they are mainly related with React. So, so why we are studying HTML first? Because we are just going to use React in our project. Then why we are just going through the HTML thing? Because in React we will be using something called JSX, which extends JavaScript extension, which is similar to this HTML tags. So we will learn that when we are jumping into React.js tutorial. So I think that's it for this HTML tutorial. We will meet in the next lecture. Until then, goodbye. Thank you.